You are getting ready to listen to the voice of Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach.
Hey, what's going on, good people, man? This is Dr. Rhadi Ferguson, 2004 Olympian, four-time national judo champion, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt, author, speaker, and coach. And welcome to another edition of Coffee with Rhadi. In this particular edition, I want to talk about some of the things that have been going on right now in the competitive marketplace of the NCAA. And I call it the competitive marketplace because the number one product are the students and student athletes. Right now we have a situation where a young man by the name of Travis Hunter, who was, I guess, the five-star number one player in the country, gave a verbal commitment earlier in the year to Florida State, but then decided to go to Jackson State University. And this has caused waves and reverberations in the, I guess, in the internet sphere, in the Twitter sphere, in the Facebook place. And there's another player, I guess by the name of Josh Griffiths, who was also on the FSU team, who has also decided to transfer to Jackson State. Then we have Eddie George, who coaches at Tennessee State from the NFL. And then I think we have two or three people in the NBA who did not go to college, went straight from high school to the NBA, who are now playing golf at HBCUs. And there is a shift that went on in the late 80s, early 90s, which is going on now again. Some of that happened before during what we call the Reagan era, and we see it happening right now. This is still, even though this still is the Trump era, whether you believe it or not. And it's a quality era, just like the Reagan era was a quality era. And I think we'll look back on this particular era, just like we look on that one, and we don't see it as negatively as we saw it at the time. But what we find out, what we're beginning to find out, is that the feelings that people have harbored internally, they are beginning to let ooze out, if you will. So if a young man chooses to go to a school, if a young man chooses to go to Florida or Florida State or Wyoming or Penn State University, and they don't choose to go to Howard University or Mississippi Valley or Jackson State, we don't get on the internet and spew hate and vitriol for the student, for their family, or about the other school. It seems that since this particular student has decided to go to Jackson State University, now you have people like Dabo Swinney saying that there's recruitment tampering going on, and then now we need to start looking at the way that the open portal exists. And see, this open portal was not an issue or problem until Deion Sanders came in with his company Barstools and found out the hole in the game. He can level the playing field by leveraging his personal and professional relationships, as the PWIs do, in order to provide sponsorship opportunities, to his students, because now students can be sponsored. So back when I was playing in the 90s, there were schools, I'm not going to mention the names, who used to send their students to car dealerships, and they would sign them up for a 1 cent a month lease agreements. It's not illegal. The guy's still paying for the car, but he's paying for that 1 cent a month or $1 a month. And they'll set up the lease agreement and allow the person to drive a brand new car. Were they given the car? No. Are they paying for the car? Yes. Is it a lease agreement? Yes. Are they leveraging the relationships that they have, the professional relationships they have? Yes. So you can have donors who make a donation to the car dealership. The car dealership can then provide 1 cent and $1 leases to athletes, and everything is legal. Why? Because of monetary resources. I'm aware of a few schools that used to do this. I'm not putting these schools out there at their business. This is not what you do. But what I'm telling you is that these particular resources are now available for all persons. And what's going on, Brother Golar? Man, my man Daryl Golar, man. I'm gonna hit you up, man, after I get off of here and put my number in the chat, in the message, in the direct message, man. We got to wrap, brother. We got to wrap. Haven't talked to you in some time, man. I hope all is well with you, bro. These particular institutions have always been leveraging their relationships. When some of the athletes who have gone into the professional ranks, like Eddie George and Deion Sanders, when they choose to come back, they come back and they go to the HBCUs. Now they can provide some of those same resources. Let me say this. This is where things get a little touchy. We have people who have coached in the NFL with no football experience. They never played football a day in their lives. Not one. Not one. None of these people are black. These people who have never played football, who coach in the NFL, all of them are white. I would challenge you to find me a person in any league who is black, who has never played the sport ever, who is coaching at a high level. It's not happening. You have people like Deion Sanders who have coached at a high level, who get told that they have to prove themselves coaching before they'll get a coaching job at the same institutions that they played for and played against. Come on, man. Listen to yourself now. Listen to me and then listen to yourself. The same people that played at the PWIs, some of the black folks, who then played in the NFL, cannot get the head coaching positions in the NFL. And then when they go coach at the HBCUs, and then leverage what they've done professionally and personally, then you have people like Dabo Swinney saying that there's tampering going on. You know, another coach, I forgot the other coach, said, I hope that the kid gets the money that he was promised. Come on, man. Come on, man. Any given Friday night, any given Saturday night, any given Sunday night, at any given time during the game, there are 22 players on that football field. And those 22 players on that field are filling up stands from 0 people in the stands all the way to, Lane Kiffin said that. Thank you so much, Brian. 0 people in the stands all the way to 100,000 people in the stands. And when we look at this football field it has color to it. The football field has some coloring to it, from the jerseys to the people. The major issue is, and everybody knows this, that the NFL, college football, it mimics the slave trading block. It mimics it. We look at the players, we find out who can do what and how we think they can run, jump, and tote the rock or the ball or shoot the pill or whatever. And then we put them in the stadium and then we make money off of them. And then the institution moves forward. And if the institution can't make money off of these people, they will find some different people. The problem that they're having right now is they never thought that the high-level talent would decide to go to HBCUs. And this is what is occurring, and it already has been occurring. I was having a discussion with Brian Fisher about Tim Tebow. My freshman year, I was 17 years old, and I was starting as a 17-year-old at a D1 school, and I was playing for Howard University, and we played against Alcorn State. The 2 quarterbacks that were on the field, Jay Walker and Steve McNair, were way better than Tim Tebow. Both of them. I've done athletic development, long-term athletic development. I've been the head coach of Bahamas Judo Federation. I've written curriculum. I've been the assistant strength and conditioning coach at Towson State University. I understand talent very clearly. I understand speed, talent, leadership, quality. I got it. I also understand what we call systemic and institutionalized racism. And it is across the board in organizations. Brian Fisher, I'll tell you this: in the two games that McNair guy played against the other guy that I'm talking about, Jay Walker outdid him twice and beat him twice. So here's what I'm telling you. There's a reason why these institutions are set up the way that they are. There's a flow in them the way that they are. There's a reason why you sit down. My son sits down and he says, and see, here's what I want to say. Thank you for saying that, brother Brian, my man Brian Ho. You can have systemic and institutional racism without people being racist. There doesn't have to be any racist in that. It's just how the numbers and the things fall. It's like when you say, if you've never lined up and played in the SEC, if you've never lined up and played in the SWAC, if you never lined up and played in the MEAC, and you say these players are better than those players, man, you don't know that. You don't know. How would you know? How would you know? It's like you telling me that every player, every quarterback in the SEC is better than Shedeur Sanders. That's not true. Shedeur Sanders is one of the best quarterbacks in the country, no matter what school he was at. It wouldn't matter. The school that he was at wouldn't matter. We know the genetic pool that he comes from. The school wouldn't matter. It doesn't matter if he was at UM, Jackson State, Howard University, Wyoming. It wouldn't matter. He's just good. And he's good no matter where he is. That's it. That's it. Now what happens is you have some students and some players who are really good that you've never heard of because institutionally they are at schools that aren't looked at as favorably as other schools. That happens to be an institutionalized system that is in place. And if it falls along the color lines, it is called institutionalized racism. And that doesn't mean that the people there are racist. It just means based upon this particular system, when I drop in the black balls and I drop in the white balls, when the balls come out at the bottom, the white balls come out and the black balls don't come out. That's it. It doesn't mean that the pegs inside of that system are racist. It doesn't mean that. It has nothing to do with that. What I'm saying is that, and I had to correct my son on this. My son, we're going to watch the Gasparilla Bowl. The UCF is going to play University of Florida. And my son was like, University of Florida is going to win. They're in the SEC. I said, you sound silly. I said, some school being in the SEC doesn't mean they're going to win. I remember all the years when University of Miami, back when I was coming up, they went in the SEC. They went in the Big East and they beat everybody. ACC, SEC, they beat everybody. They beat every school. They beat everybody. Big truck, they beat everybody. Because the school doesn't matter. It's the talent pool. It's the talent. Can you grab the talent out of Texas? Can you grab the talent out of Florida? Can you grab the talent out of Pennsylvania? Can you grab the talent out of New York? Can you grab the talent out of California? If you can grab the talent, it doesn't matter where you go. If you grab the talent, you grab the talent out of Mississippi. If you can grab the talent, you're going to do well. That's it. All Deion Sanders has done is utilize his resources and his professional resources and professional relationships in order to do the same thing that the PWIs have been doing for years. Everybody buys athletes. When you go on a recruiting trip, they're selling you their school. And they make the sale. Period. Before I got to Howard University, there was a guy that was there by the name of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy Johnson played tight end. Jimmy Johnson played tight end, and he played tight end for the Washington Redskins. And Jimmy Johnson has a Super Bowl ring. While I was there, man, I played with a guy who was a walk-on. He walked on as a running back, got moved from running back to defensive back. I played running back with a bunch of, he didn't make it at running back. moved to defensive back, went to the league, started in the league, won a Super Bowl with the Rams. The running back that I played with went to the league. Rupert Grant went to the league. The quarterback that I played with, both of them went to the league. The whole offensive line in 1996, all of them went to the league. They got cut, but all of them went to the league. All of them. All of them were in camp. All of them. I went to the Olympics. Like the people that I played with were at such a phenomenal level. It's just unbelievable. And yes, man, some of those people were better than the people that are in the NFL. I remember Billy Jenkins telling me, he says, man, you could have played in the NFL when I see some of these guys in here playing. He said, you definitely could have played at that level. There's, for some reason, so many people, and these people don't read, people think that, you think that all the people with the best grades get into Harvard. There's so many applications for people for Harvard. Everybody doesn't get in. Everybody doesn't get the seat. So how do they determine who gets the seat? Man, they still pick and choose. The person with the highest GPA doesn't always get in. The person with the lowest out of that pool doesn't always get in. Man, they pick and they choose. And people pick and they choose. And some of it is a numbers game. And some of it is, if you do want to provide yourself with the best opportunity based upon how the system is running to go to the NFL, then some people will make that decision to go to a PWI because they think that that's going to give them the opportunity to get looked at. Man, shoot your shot, man. Bob Hayes went to Florida A&M University. Bob Hayes played for the Dallas Cowboys. Bob Hayes has an Olympic gold medal. Bob Hayes is a Hall of Famer. That's it. I played against Earl Holmes from FAMU. Earl Holmes was the franchise player for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Averaged almost like 22 tackles a game. 18 to 22 tackles a game in college. I've sat in meetings, Jesus, with people from Yale who made me Yale, people from Harvard, people from Stanford, where else I've been at? Or whatever top school I sat in meetings with these people. Man, some of these people about sharp as a marble. I have been thoroughly impressed with people from MIT. I've sat in a room with people from MIT and Rensselaer Polytechnical Institute. Thoroughly impressed. Some of these other schools, man, these people about as sharp as a marble. They don't know nothing, man. They leave school. They not only do they not know anything, and then they don't know anything about black folks at all. They go to school. Let me. This is institutionalized racism in K through 12. In K through 12, if you want to take AP classes, the AP classes that are offered in the United States are AP what? American history and AP what? AP what? AP European history. Is there an AP African history course? No. Why not? Why isn't there an AP African history course? There's an AP European history course. People go through from kindergarten to 12th grade, go to college for 4 and 5 years, and they don't take one class on, now I'm not even talking about critical race theory. Forget about critical race theory. That was a Tuesday on the yard at Howard, okay? They haven't taken like one class on black thought, on one class on black feminist thought. God rest the soul of Bell Hooks. Bell Hooks just passed away, I think on the 15th. They haven't read not one book. One book on African history, one book on African American history, one book on the African diaspora, one book on Caribbean history. They haven't read one book. Go ahead. Let me see if who is this? I approve you, Coach B. They haven't read one book. I'm supposed to be adding B more right now.
What's up?
Howard University's fine. And you know you're dumb because you didn't go to the white school, right?
Man, I saw that. Listen, first of all, I saw you say critical race theory was a standard Tuesday on Howard's campus. True. Also, Dr. Maurice Dolberry did an incredible lecture on the importance of critical race theory and debunking what it is and what it is not. That's on the Black Futurist podcast. Thirdly, the amount of vitriol.
And listen, I just want to let y'all know that my man got on the coffee with Rhadi and bigged up the Black Futurist podcast. And I don't mind because that's my man. Because that's what we're supposed to do.
You've been on the show. I ain't even checked my hairline before I got up on this thing. Hey,
Lord, if my people who are called by my name.
I'm standing here washing dishes and I'm hearing you rant. I just want to say, hey, listen.
I know I'm not ready. I'm educating.
Okay, yes. The amount of vitriol that came out of the Florida State alumni body, supporters and everything, it's no surprise to a guy like me. But here's what they think of you, as Ice Cube said. Here's what they think about you.
Did you see the man burning Deion's jersey?
Yeah, man. But listen, if my son is playing corner, where else should he go play? Who should he play for if he's the #1 corner in the nation besides Deion Sanders?
If I'm a running back, I go play for Eddie George.
Listen, and additionally, it's not just the football. It's the 360 view of what Deion and the people down at Jackson State are doing to make sure that these guys are cared for, provided for, and properly groomed outside of sports.
Yes.
All the difference in the world.
The speaking training, the grooming training, the making sure everybody's dressed in the sport coats and the blazers and the slacks and the shoes.
Right.
A professional presentation, like not doing the things that we do at the black school. Like you just can't come into black school with no pajama pants on, walking into class.
Right. That's right. Especially in schools of business.
No.
You know.
So. It's not happening.
So anyway, what I was thinking as I was having a conversation about this while I was watching it, it's fantastic that this is happening. We've been talking about this for years, and what we need to do as an overall community, not just alum of Jackson State or anywhere, we need to make sure that we're supportive of what's happening so that it can be replicated and it's seen as a success, and that it is an actual success, that this guy is not a guy whose experience doesn't match his expectations, and that we are fully in support. Like I own Jackson State stuff, paraphernalia. I haven't worn it, but I own it. I bought it. They got my money. We go to the games. It's great. You know, like you got to do it. You got to support. It's time to come up off your wallet and your time, figure out how you can contribute, because this thing is way past due.
It's way past due, and I said it before. It's the same wave that happened in that 88 to 1994 time frame during the Reagan era. That's the same thing that's happening right now in the Trump era. During the public enemy time frame. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, an awakening.
It's an awakening.
Okay. Yes. Because a lot different than the Reagan era. I was trying to key in what you were saying there. A lot has happened.
No. Right. Exactly. No. Yeah. I'm talking about in terms of the influx of black college enrollment.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing happened here. What I really liked and what I really enjoyed and what I posted is one of the other players, one of the white players from Florida State has also committed to Jackson State.
Wow.
Yes, I just.
That's great.
Well, let me tell you something. What's his name? His name is Josh Griffiths.
Okay.
He was on Florida State team, and he's transferred. Now, here's the thing. One of the coaches, I forgot who just talked about it. I don't know if it was Lane Kiffin or whoever. But they said we need to start looking at the transfer report. Now we need to start right.
Now that y'all have arrived, we need to start doing what we're supposed to be doing.
Bro, did you see that Dabo Sweeney has made an accusation of recruitment tampering?
No, I have not seen that. What I did see, and I don't know if it's true or not, was there's some other factors in terms of this potential deal that Deion was able to broker for his guy to make some endorsement money, which is fantastic. And I was also told that Florida has a law against it, which they're trying to change now. So there's a negative to going to school in Florida if you're potentially going to make money for your likeness as an athlete. Florida law currently says that you can get the money, but it somehow gets diverted before it gets to you while you're in school or whatever. So Florida's at a disadvantage, and so is California in that matter. And I understand that those laws are now being examined for repeal. So it's actually just switching out of a Florida school to a Mississippi school may have been monetarily super beneficial, aside from playing for the greatest cornerback to ever play the game, maybe one of the greatest athletes.
It says on Thursday, Florida's NIL legislation going into effect. The law approved earlier this year allows college athletes in Sunday State to earn money on everything from social media posts to car dealership commercials and hire lawyers and agents to help negotiate such deal.
Right.
So
they just make the money.
Yeah, they just got it late. Right. They
so
got
the guy,
late.
if he has that potential to make that money, he couldn't even have made it in Florida. Florida State was at a disadvantage, period.
Yeah, because they said Florida, and on April 29th, said Florida could delay college athlete endorsement law. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Hey, here's a challenge for you, sir. You've ascended to the heights of your sport. You went through the college system. You then went to Colorado and trained at the IOC. You've gone to the Olympics. Now you train guys all the time in Florida and Tampa judo. Can we get more black athletes under your supervision? I know you did Barbados. Was it Barbados or Bahamas?
Bahamas.
Right. Can we get more black American athletes under your guidance and tutelage? Can they, how does that happen? How do we get that to happen?
One is just local era marketing, and two, I would have to get in with USA Judo. I'm not in with USA Judo. I've been put on the outs of USA Judo early. I was told, and I think I guess it's a bad thing, but I was told that I'm not controllable.
You're not.
I'm not supposed to be. No, neither are you.
Right.
Exactly. So right.
We still need access. We need access.
We need access, but there are people in judo, in the higher ups in judo, who actually tell people not to come to me.
Okay.
But I mean, that doesn't bother me though, because man, my career has gone so good, man. I don't be wanting to preach, but what God has for me is for me. The people who are supposed to come to me, they'll get to me, and the people who are not supposed to come to me, they'll be repelled. And that's just what it is. And the money will keep on rolling in. And I'm going to pay the 10% of my tithes and go on about my business.
Yeah. Good. Okay. Hey, I got to go. This is a fantastic conversation. You're doing a great job. And I can't wait till the next time I have you on the podcast.
We need to get on the Black.
It's called the Black Futures, by the way.
We need to get on the Black Futures podcast. And we need to talk about this more in depth with some notes.
Yeah. There we go.
With some notes. Now, I'm not going to talk about the other thing that we're not going to talk about.
Well, we're going to talk about that too.
Yeah, but I won't be there. I won't be there.
All right. Goodbye.
Bye. Take care, brother. You can always count on your people from Howard University. Coach B and I went to Howard together. We were in the engineering building together. What's going on, Enrique? We're in the engineering building together. But listen, there's if you find yourself saying stuff like the SEC is better than the MEAC and the SEC is better than the SWAC, and you've never played in any conference, or both of them, or haven't coached in both of them, or you ever seen any athletes from either one, or you've never been on the football field and watched the 40 times and the bench press and the if you've never watched any of these things or watched the film that you play, if you've never done any of that, then you should probably be quiet. I've seen players that will run circles around those guys in the SEC. As a matter of fact, true story. And I wish my cousin Antron was on here to go over it. There was a host of us from HBCUs that went down. We were at University of Miami over the summer. We went to University of Miami to do 7-on-7. It was the HBCUs versus the PWIs. Guys from Florida and Florida State and University of Miami. We beat the dog piss out of those dudes. They couldn't cover one-on-one because they wanted to play cover two. They had no speed. It's like they were running in the mud. And how much trash we were talking during the session was bad. I felt bad for them that they were out there getting done like that. True story. You can talk to my cousin Andron about it. True story. This is a night and day difference, man. What usually happens is that there's a huge difference, man, with the line. I'll tell you this also. When we played against Marshall. Played against Randy Moss. All right. The receiver on our team at the time, MacArthur Johnson, who also went to the league, got cut, went to the league. He had a better game than Randy Moss that game. Was MacArthur Johnson faster than Randy Moss? I don't know, man. MacArthur Johnson was a high 4.3, low 4.4 guy. But hands sweet like they had stickum on them. He played so good, man. He ended up getting, I think he got picked up by the Vikings too. And the cornerback that was covering Randy got picked up by the Vikings too, because Randy didn't get off at corner. Randy got off at on kickoff return. But he didn't get off at corner because our corner had him locked up. Had him locked up like he was in jail. He had a decent game, but it's a speed difference. That was it. So just be careful. And I can tell you this. I encourage my kids to go to historically black colleges and universities because I want them to know about themselves. I want them to know about the history. I want them to be around people who respect them. I want them to be around people who love them. I want them to be around people who want them to be there. And I want them to be around people who are not looking at just utilizing them to fill up a stadium or looking at what they can do for them. Because I'll tell you this, if that guy from Florida State loves Deion as much as he said he loved Deion, then he would want Deion to be successful where he is. He didn't love Deion. He loved Deion as long as Deion provided to Florida State. As soon as Deion started being worried about Deion, he didn't love him no more. He burned Deion's jersey. Why would you burn Deion's jersey when Deion is working as a coach and doing what he can to get recruits to his school? It's because you don't love Deion. You love the idea of what Deion can do for you. And I will say this. When Deion was shucking and jiving and on the football field, shuffling, and as black folks would say, as he was out there cooning, y'all was okay. But when Deion took his money and his resources and learned the game that y'all taught him and implemented that game at Jackson State, now you want to change the rules. Now you talk about people are tampering, and now some of y'all don't love Deion no more. I think you need to examine yourselves. You have a problem. You have a deep-seated and deep-rooted problem. You need to examine yourself. Because if you say that you love somebody, then love what they do, even if they can't do anything for you. This is Dr. Ferguson. Have a super fantastic day. Remember, I love you. God loves you best. What's going on, Joe? Joe Letts. Come on back to the dojo, man. I think your hat and your shirt are still there, and I gotta tighten you up. Come on back to the dojo, man. Tuesdays and Thursdays nights, man. We get it on like pantyhose 2 sizes small.